everybody. I'm Cindy Benson with the Grace and Strength Lifestyle. And today I wanted to introduce you to Jena Penner, and she is live with us all the way from Uganda. Just moved there recently, but I'm definitely going to let her tell her story. But she was one of our clients and now an alumni, and hopefully we'll be blessed to have her as a coach real soon. So welcome, Jena. We're really, really pleased to have you. Jena, tell me how you first found out about the Grace and Strength Lifestyle, and how long has it been since you began and completed the program?
Okay, I learned about it on Facebook. A friend was doing Grace and Strength Lifestyle, and I just kind of watched as the pictures changed, and finally she had met her goal weight, and I was like, that is not the same person. I knew it was the same person, but it was like unbelievable, the transformation. And so I would ask little questions throughout the way, send messages, never posting on a wall, just secretly. And so she was like, listen, just call them already. So I did, and talked to your Jena, actually. And then, kind of got started from there. So I was on the program P2 for 6 months.
Okay, and that was back, I think we started back in like April 2012?
I started June 6, 2012, and then met my goal weight December 4th of 2012.
That's awesome. And so you've been maintaining and, well, actually lost a little bit more.
Yeah. So 110 total.
Wow, that's amazing. You must feel completely different.
Yes. And sometimes I get to steal my 12-year-old's girl size clothes. It's kind of fun.
Okay, I don't like you anymore. No, just kidding. My 12-year-old, I think when I was 12, I was already like 5'7" or something now. Wasn't, yeah.
And I think I was a little different because I didn't hit 100 pounds till I was in college. I was always teeny, teeny, tiny all through, and then it was just a slow, gradual gain from college on.
I gotcha. Well, I know that you've got a very powerful story, and I know our listeners are going to really, really want to hear that. But can you tell us a little bit about, who you were, where you were, kind of just the struggles that you dealt with on a daily basis, with your former lifestyle? Just because, there's a lot of women who think that, well, they didn't go through what I've gone through, or they're not going through what I'm going through. And a lot of times people just assume, because we had men, sorry men, we're not leaving you out, but it's us girls talking, but but yeah, and so maybe some of the struggles from your previous lifestyle, and not just the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and so on, because like we said, I'm sure there's many more that are going through that, something that it just might resonate with them.
Yeah. I think that I was just your basic busy mom who never took time for herself. And that kind of translated into a lack of discipline in all areas because it was just, there was so much to do that I think sometimes I just got overwhelmed and would just not do anything, from chores or errands to quiet times. I was definitely an emotional eater. So if I felt alone, if I felt sad, really if I felt anything, I would be eating. So I had to kind of get over that. My husband worked 24-hour shifts when we lived back in America. And so he would be gone, and I'd put the kids to bed at night and crawl into bed with my tub of ice cream or my licorice or whatever it was, and it was kind of like I was always treating myself for making it through the day. But, I mean, that actually isn't a treat at all. Like, it's not helpful to you. So, there's that little saying on Pinterest that I see, like, you are not a dog. Do not reward yourself with food.
That's awesome. I haven't seen that. That's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you. So before I'm going to go and we're going to talk about your why in a second. But before that, let everybody know just a little bit about yourself, because you mentioned, staying at home and a mom, and I won't spill the beans of how many children you have and all that, but just tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go right into your why.
Yeah. Um, I am 40. I turned 40 while I was on the Grace and Strength program. Um, I was raised in the Northwest in the Portland, Oregon area, and my husband is a nurse anesthetist. And so to do his training, we moved to North Carolina. So we started in North Carolina with a 5-month-old and 2-year-old, and now we have 7 kids. We have 4 biological and 3 adopted kids. All 3 of them are adopted from Uganda. And I guess that's it. I never, like, I went straight from college to staying at home. Got married young, had kids young, had our 4th child when I was 28. And so that was just always my focus, all my kiddos, not ever really focusing on me.
Right, that's amazing, amazing story. One of our coaches said, I want to have a superwoman cape and have Jenna's name on the back of it. She did. She really did. So,
Today was our first official homeschool day here, and my youngest, who's been with us not quite a year yet, had a Superman cape on.
aw,
And it was cute that, his little first day of school picture had his little Superman cape.
that is so cute. That's
Yeah.
well, for you listeners, what our why is, what I just mentioned is that's something that we do when the girls first start, before they even start with us. That's what we send them once they're registered. And what that is a why is, why are you looking for this change? Why do you need this change? What is your why? And to really make it strong, we're not about the number on a scale, the size of your clothes, you know, what is it that why do you need to make this healthy change? And we encourage them that the why has to be strong, because I know when I coach some women, I'll be like, I'll send it back and say, mm-mm, that is not going to hold water, because when the enemy comes to tempt you, I'm sorry, but that size, you're going to say, I'll get that another day. It's not going to, it needs to be so strong that it's going to stop you in your tracks. And so, Jenna, share with us what your why was.
My why was actually Uganda, because I was morbidly obese and moving to a third world country where there's not really medical care. And so we knew we were moving to Uganda. We knew it was for medical missions. We knew about the time we wanted to go, but we didn't have an exact date. And so I was really, really just torn up that we would be leaving for Uganda and I was going to be so unhealthy and something could happen to me. We have horrible heart disease in my family. And, I had already had all of these things. Pre-diabetes, just all of these medical issues because of my weight and my lack of activity. And I really there was this song called Forgiveness. And I was driving carpool one day and the song came on and I just started bawling. I was like, I can no longer live like this anymore. I have got to forgive myself
Mhm.
for not taking care of myself. And I have to get healthy, because if I'm not healthy, I can't take care of my kids. I can't do anything. And so it was really my goal and my prayer that God would not move us until I was healthy. And he did exactly that.
That's so awesome. He's so faithful. That's a strong why, to be there for your kids. Because you're right. If we don't put ourselves first, and most moms don't, they think the opposite. They think,
Right.
I got to be there for my husband and my family and my home and my kids. And guess what, though? If you're not whole and you're not happy and healthy, you can't be there for them. You can't have the energy or the mental capacity it takes, especially to homeschool 7 children. Oh dear gosh, yeah. I'm sure that looks a lot different today than it would, a year and a half ago. It
I
was,
couldn't have done it. There's no way I would have had the energy to just keep up with the daily tasks, especially living in Uganda where, there's no dishwasher here. There's no washing machine. This is your washing machine right here. So, it's just a harder life. And so there's just no way I could have done this.
wow, that's amazing then. That is just amazing. What tell us like what how did it affect your confidence level as a person in general? You know, wife, mother, friend, you guys are in ministry too. I mean, just overall that transformation that you went through.
I think I might be an odd duck on this one because I had a lot of confidence before.
Mhm.
My weight never, I mean, it didn't make me timid or shy or not want to do things. Um, I mean, I've always had that confidence, and I don't know how or why, but I have. And so maybe for me, that wasn't as dramatic
Mm-hmm.
as for most people. But I mean, definitely people are all the time who knew me before and now
Right.
are, you are so much like just peppier. And I didn't think you could get peppier because I love life. I always have. And so I've, you know, I wasn't maybe one to shy away because of my weight.
Right.
And so, I mean, I just really think that that wasn't as huge of a before and after for me personally. So, but I think I definitely have a lot more, I don't know how I put it, but I mean, I guess it's a confidence that, you know, but it's a confidence in myself that I can rely on God to give me what I need to make changes in my life. And so I think it was more of a confidence in not being scared of trying new things, of doing new things, of stepping out of comfort zones.
Right.
Because if I can go from a size 22 to a size 4, then God can do anything. Because, you know, I sat at that big size for so long, so long. And so he can do anything in your life if you will just say yes. But, you know, I guess it's more than saying yes. You have to be dedicated and committed to it. And you have to get out of his way so that he can do what he's trying to do and wants to do in your life.
Man, that's awesome. Totally, totally agree. It's funny how we can get in the way of, you know, our own destiny, really our own purpose. You know, he knows our purpose. He gave it to us, you know, and sometimes it's a matter of us just like you say, surrendering, letting go and let him move in us. And as we follow his lead, there we have right there on the screen
Yeah.
is what can happen. Absolutely. That's amazing. Um, so in what ways do you think now that your life has changed as a result of this lifestyle?
A lot of things. Um, I really think that I used to run to food instead of running to Jesus. If I was, you know, having any, um, just if I was having needs or there was something on my heart that I was really convicted of, I would always choose food over Jesus. And that just, I mean, just thinking about it now just tears me up because we need to run to Jesus with our joys and with our sorrows and with our concerns and our requests. But, you know, food doesn't replace him. And that's what I was doing. You know, I was just really seeking food in all of those times that I should have been on my knees asking
Right.
him to help me.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, that's just such our prayer, you know, and the Lord gave me this vision for the company and to break the bondages of weight off of women. That's why it's called the grace and strength. You know, it's by his grace and his strength that we can get through it. We can't do it alone. I mean, many of us had tried for years. Like you said, you were overweight for many years, and that was the missing factor. And sometimes you're like, wow, it could be really that simple of really asking the Lord because he knows all things. Or what should I be going to right now? I'm really, you know, so absolutely. I'm so thankful that when I hear, yay, it's exactly the way it's supposed to work.
Yes.
It's awesome.
What you said about together, because I always hear, you know, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. But that next verse talks about how, but I'm, oh, how does it go? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, but it was good of you to share in my troubles. And I think that's one thing that is so unique about grace and strength is with your coach, you have something, and with like Facebook pages, you know, you're doing this together with a group of women, and you're never alone. And so, I used to call Millicent. I don't know if I ever told her this to her face or to her phone ear, but when people would say, "Oh, so you have a coach?" I'm like, "Mm-mm, I have a butt kicker." She, she like, because I'd say even like, "Well, what about this?" And she's like, "Well, you could choose to do that, but you'll have to be able to, deal with the consequences." It's like, it's this phrase, choose to sin, choose to suffer. Like, there's grace that covers that. But if you're going to choose to do what you're not supposed to do, there's earthly consequences for it.
Right. That's
And you slow your own progress.
exactly. Exactly. It's so not worth it. And only once people are on the program or anything else they're doing, they know, afterwards you don't want to have condemnation or regret or anything, but you look back to think, was that really worth it? You know, you know, I know one of my girlfriends has a saying, and it's more not in the spiritual realm, but in the natural realm, but she said, that is so not calorie worthy. I'm not touching it. So it's like for 2 minutes you're going to eat this and you're like, oh man, are you kidding me? What happens after that? Absolutely. Okay, what would you say on that note to anybody listening today, or whenever they're listening to this, um, that is on the fence, that is maybe contacted us, maybe not. They're skeptical. They don't think it's going to work for them. All the things that we thought of too. I know my first day, I was just like, oh yeah, but it's all for them, but that's not how my body works. So what would you say to them, Jenna, that for those people who are on the fence today?
I would just say, do it. Come on, just do it. Works. I think one of my biggest things is we were saving money to move to Uganda. And I'm like, I can't afford to pay any money. But what I was so thankful for was that even though our budget was very tight because of what we were doing, we really didn't feel a difference in the bank account because I was no longer going through fast food drive-throughs. We weren't eating out at restaurants anymore. And really, honestly, when you kind of cut those things out or you cut through your Starbucks run, those
Yes.
things add up really fast. And if you're not doing them anymore, you just really don't notice the cost. And I mean, I would think that that's the thing I hear the most people say is they're worried about the cost and how that works into their budget. And it's just not going to be a factor. Like if you're supposed to do this, it's all going to work out.
Hmm.
And so you just need to, know that there's going to be people alongside you. They're going to help you. I love it. There's people who have like 2 weeks after you start, there's people who are just starting who are looking to you for advice and encouragement. And there's people that have been doing it a month longer and 2 months longer and 3 months longer. So it's kind of like I had this very wise woman tell me when I was a newly married lady, and she said, you should always have a mentor, but you should always be mentoring somebody else.
Yes.
And I've always loved that. And that, like, these groups are set up just like that. And it is built for success.
Awesome. I think so. So just tell them, just do it. Just do it. Get off the fence and jump over on this side of the fence and get it done.
Every day you wait is the day you're not going to be at your goal. And I think about that because I actually thought about it for 6 months. And then when I finally did it, it took me 6 months to get to my goal weight. And I think about that all the time. I'm like, I could have been at my goal weight the day I started if I would have just done it then.
Right. That's great advice. Thank you. Thank you. That's great advice. Hey, Jenna, now that you've been graduated from the program for 8 months, have
Mm-hmm.
lost 110 pounds and kept that off, obviously, because look at you.
Yeah.
You look absolutely amazing. And so what practices are you doing now that it's enabling you to maintain, your new healthy lifestyle, not just the weight, but like everything that you said?
I think that the discipline I learned has carried over into not just the scale or my size, but it's really carried over into my quiet times and my prayer time and my time of worship during the day. It's carried over in the way the house runs and the way I interact with my kids. And I'm just an Energizer bunny now. I love I have three teenage boys right now, and I can outplank two of them. So,
Wow.
and it's so cute. Like I have my oldest is a swimmer, and they do these certain ab workouts. And one day he's like, "You should do that with me." And I'm like, "It sounds rough, but I'll try it." And he didn't think I would be able to finish it, but I did. I didn't look pretty doing it, but I could finish it. And so, I mean, it's just so sweet to have those times with, teenage boys aren't always the most fun to be around, where they don't want to spend time with their mama. And it's like, it's given us a connection that we didn't have before because I couldn't participate in that stuff.
That's precious. That's
Mm,
precious right there. That's something you can't buy. That's for sure.
right.
Well, we're getting ready to launch our alumni group, and what that is for everybody that doesn't know yet is, I mean, that's definitely for the Grace and Strength Lifestyle graduates like Jenna and many, many others from the last, 3.5 years or so. Um, and so we're so excited because it's just an extension of the program. It's just going to be right now, everybody that graduates, like, meaning their goal and so on, will automatically go in there, like Jenna said, because then you have that mentor she's talking about. There's going to be people who have, Jen has been 8 months, but we interviewed somebody yesterday that was 3.5 years, so what does that look like? And she had lost 100 pounds as well. So,
Wow.
and to be still, what does it look like for her? What does she have to do? And the group is just going to bring in, that much more education so that we can really be able to learn to walk this out in these new bodies, these new minds, these new positions, even in our marriage, and like you said, in your children, and exercise. Some of them, I know maybe not you, but when I was at my heaviest, I mean, my feet hurt, everything hurt. There'd be no way I'd be running what I'm doing now or doing P90X or Insanity. I would think you were insane to do that then, and so how things change. We'll be, sharing those things and doing fun things together. So,
I should tell you the funniest story. Are you ready?
yeah,
Oh my goodness. When I first started exercising, I would walk around a block, and it was a big block. But literally, my husband had to go with me, and he literally the whole time was like, "Okay, keep going. You're doing good. Look, we're halfway there." Like he's like literally leading me on, dangling a carrot. "Come on, honey." And if he wasn't walking with me, and if the temperature wasn't just right, and if it was raining, forget it. That's how I started with exercise. And my husband decided to go run a marathon one day. He's like, "I think I'll run a marathon. I'm going to go jog. I'll be back in a few hours." I'm like, "What?
a
Like,
few
who does
hours.
that? Crazy." But I started jogging, and that's something I never thought I would be able to do. But this one time I was jogging and I was finishing kind of where I would end that block when
Right.
I first started walking. And I literally I was like, "I can't continue. I can't do it. I've got to walk." And I just like, I was like, it was like God was telling me, it's like, "Keep going, keep going, keep going." And I'm like, "You're going to have to do more than that. You're going to have to give me some like beautiful sign that I don't have to
Yeah.
stop." And just then this lady walks out that I'd never seen before. And she's like, "You go, girl. You go, you fat girl." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "I've been watching you over the last 6 months. You were that fat girl that the husband would lead down the road." And I was like, "I guess I can keep going."
My gosh, that is so
Dying.
cool. That just gave me chills. You
And
know,
now she's just yelling at me. I'm like, "Okay."
hey, that's God uses people, whatever it takes, right? But that's amazing, though. That is, it's just when that drive comes in, whatever it takes to get you there, that is so awesome. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Um, well, yeah, so that was the Jenna, what would you say to um, the alumni, somebody right now for a graduate that is beginning to walk out their journey, into their new selves. What piece of advice would you have for them?
I would say take time to really learn what foods do to your body, because what an avocado does to me might not be what it does to you, or almonds, or whatever it is. Even though there's good healthy foods, sometimes our body reacts differently. So I would say during that, even P3, P4, to the end of the program, like, even if you graduate and finish, really, really take time to learn what each food will do to your body. There's certain foods that maybe I might, I'm not gaining any weight, but there's certain foods that I don't eat on the same day. Um, like if I have salmon and avocado on the same day, I see a little tiny bit of a difference. But if I eat those foods on opposite days, I see no difference. And so there's just different ways your body reacts. And I just think it's amazing, like you're feeding a baby new foods and waiting a few days to see if there's an allergic reaction. It's like we need to do that with our bodies, because our bodies do react to it. And so we need to take the time to learn how our body reacts to foods, and that time can't be rushed. But once you have that information, it's the most amazing gift for yourself.
Awesome. It is. It's like the perfect prescription, that, hey, I've learned to do this and this is what keeps me here.
Right.
And part of the alumni group too, we'll talk about, all those kind of fun things too. Because like it'll be different for everybody. But that is so awesome. But then this has been so awesome to have you on here. Um, I want to talk to you just briefly. I know ours is a tad longer, but you're in Uganda. It's not like we're going to talk. I guess we could through Skype every day, but um, I know that you are contemplating becoming a Grace and Strength lifestyle coach, and as we're getting ready to really fulfill the vision that God has given me for this ministry and going forward to help more and more people. Because there are so many women and men that are just have an expectancy of hope. They hear us, they see it, whether, like you said, a Facebook post, on YouTube, wherever. And in order to do that, to expand our reach, if you will, we it's going to require more coaches to be able to come and walk alongside these women to help them. So we're saying that what would it mean to you to become a Grace and Strength coach?
I think it would be pretty amazing to get to walk with women who are on this journey. I mean, just kind of like I talked about before, being mentors for people who are, kind of walking where you have been. And there's people, who've been doing it for a while, to walk with me if I was starting that. Um, I, I think it would be neat, especially, we have a doctor at the clinic my husband works at here in Uganda, and he asked me, because he saw me before, he stayed with us like a year and a half ago, and so when he saw me, he keeps staring at me. He's like, you have to look really hard to see that it's you. And he can't get over the difference. And he's like, you might need to come help us with fitness and nutrition. And I was like, that would be so exciting, because it is part of your daily life now. I mean, it just is part of who I am, eating healthy foods and exercising and taking the time to take care of myself. And so it would just be really cool to get to walk that and kind of help other women struggle. Like, we want to do life together as Christians. We want to do life together with each other. And a lot of times I think people think that means your neighbors or those people your kids go to school with or in your church family. But this is an amazing era of technology. And so we can really expand who we do life with. And it would be amazing to get to meet, different people from different parts of the world even, who
Right.
are all, different parts of the world, but all really seeking God's will in their life to make changes from the inside out.
Awesome. You're right. You're so right. We're now in, I think, Uganda made 7 countries.
Wow.
I know. So we are global. We are around the world, and it's so cool when we're all together, like you said, whether it be on the Facebook group or whether we're like this Skype, this is what we do once a week, and we all get to see each other and share. It doesn't matter. We're all one. We're all brought together. It's so
Right.
amazing. So, well, thank you again, Jenna, so
You're welcome.
much. And for anybody listening out here, if you would like to have Jenna as your coach, um, definitely contact us on our website, www.graceandstrengthlifestyle.com. Use the coupon code Jenna with one N. Just saying that. My Jenna has two, so I was like, oh, I got to be careful on
Yeah.
there. And so thank you again, Jenna. It was a pleasure. You have, well, a great night. Actually, it's night over
I,
there in Uganda.
there's my mosquito net. No malaria.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, she has a mosquito net over. That's so cool. All right,
Yeah.
girl. Thank you again. All right.
Bye.
Bye.